Hi friends, it's Bridget. I'm back with my embellished fabrics here. I've been having so much fun doing this experimentation with my embellisher, my Janome FM 725. I love it. And I love the size of these. These are 12 by 12 swatches. And they are going to be really useful. And at the beginning of this project, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with these as an end result. And I'm still not quite sure. But this is a very good size to use for little bags. I could take little pieces out and put them onto something else. But as my wheels were spinning, I was thinking, I just love touching them. The texture feel of these is, I wish you could feel it. It is just very, very yummy, to say the least. So I was thinking, what would I do with these? And then I got thinking on maybe doing some sort of journal cover. How sweet would that be? With the papers inside, do some signatures. And I ended up coming up with a different size for my swatch today. And I am going to have this swatch, which is 10 by 15 inches. I just placed a piece of paper in here. And I am thinking this gives me enough leeway, I hope, to have some sort of journal cover. So that was one idea. And then another idea I had was, I've just always loved, I call them art rolls. And you put like little pockets down here, and whether it's your pencils or your paintbrushes or your sewing tools or notions, I just really would love to make one with a strap going around. So for the next couple projects, I think I'm going to continue to just have about a 10 by 15 because I feel like that would hold scissors, everything else, pens. I feel like that would be a good size for an end result. We shall see. So I wanted to explain that I was just going to change my swatch size. Those other fabrics will be used for something. Do not worry. They are treasures already. So I'm going to get set up with my embellisher. And today I'm going to work with my purples. I have my purple scraps. I have some purples here. And I also have continued to have a little bit of a fabric problem. And I grabbed a couple of these pieces, as well as I found this fat quarter, which is stunning in the store, a cute little quilt shop near me, which I love and just can't seem to walk out of there without picking something up. So, continues the problem. And I have some purple tulle for the top of it. I'm excited to see how that's gonna look. And I have this beautiful thread for when I go to my sewing machine and do, I think I'm going to do again my pebbles today because I'm really enjoying learning how to maneuver the machine in free motion to get circles that are not like that on the back, but more like this, but that don't cross over each other. It is rather difficult to do when you have a thread that is blending so well. Maybe I'll have to do a couple projects for practice of a colored thread on a background that is different than the thread color. I think that would be a good practice as well. So that's my project today. And thanks for joining me. I am at my Janome FM 725. And I have my Thermolam Plus, which is a fleece fusible stabilizer. It's what I've been using. And I have the bumpy side up. And I have all of my beautiful scraps. I have my tweezers. I have my scissors. And I have my rotary cutter. That was, again, a lot of fun. Surprise, surprise. These little circles got me at the end. I just kind of wanted to keep adding them. And then I was like, oh no, just stop here. It's a fine line in my mind where you can start overdoing. I kind of feel like maybe I did overdo it on the circles, but they're there now. So I'm going to take my Teflon sheet and give it a press. I just like to give it a press just to get some of the extra adhesive to help bond with the project. Oh, that's quite lovely. Okay, so that's done, and I really feel like that's going to be a nice piece. And again, I'm just going to take my little sheet of paper here, and oh yeah, that could be quite lovely as a journal cover. Really pretty. Oh gosh, okay. And then, or doing some sort of art roll for your tools and your pencils or whatever you're doing, your embroidery. Could have different ones. So I'm just going to tidy up these little pieces that are poking out here. Add them back into my scrap pile. Yeah, that's quite lovely with a tie. Oh, that would be beautiful. Okay, but first things first, I do want to cover this one. So I like to cover the ones that I do with the embellisher with the tulle or the organza. I am going to work on another one in the next few weeks. Not sure when, but I do want to do another one that's just stitching because I do really like how that stitching came out. So another sample in this size would be great. So now I want to take my organza and see if I want to do my organza or if I want to do my tulle. Okay, yeah, I will say I think I want to do the tulle and just add some extra purple. This would be most helpful, I'm sure, with sewing with my thread. I probably would be able to see it better, but I'm not going to do that. I am going to do some samples, just some practice samples at some point of that. But right now, I am going to torture myself yet again and challenge my eyesight. And I'm going to cut a piece of this out and clip it down with my Wonder Clips. And I'm going to take it to my sewing machine. And I'm going to do my little pebbles, or some big pebbles maybe this time. And I'm going to do it in this variegated purple thread. So I'm going to go do that. I am going to skip the camera on that. I've done that in quite a few videos, I think now. If you guys are really pining for more pebble activity, let me know and I can add that in. But for now, I'm just going to put on some music or maybe a podcast and zone out and do my pebbles, and then I will come back and show you what I have. I just love getting into a groove at the sewing machine. I did my circles and they came out pretty good. My tension's getting better. My little pebbles with my pretty purple thread. I will say it was a challenge to see the thread at times, and it got me thinking that I think on my next sample, I am going to use a different color thread that brings out an area so that I can see when I'm doing my pebbles, and that way I can not strain my eyes so much, hopefully. But I still think I did pretty good. It's getting better. Don't know if we can see there. It's getting better. Practice, practice, practice. So that's what I'm about. I did remember to take a photo before I covered this, and I'm going to take another photo of the after. So I'm going to get a couple samples from Spoonflower, printed again on the Petal Signature Cotton, and I will share those with you when they come in. I'm excited to see. I did them in different scales. So some are zoomed in a little bit and some are out. So the repeat is different on some of the samples, so I can see what scale I like from the photo. Is it large scale or small scale? You know, look really tiny or a larger piece. And I might end up liking some of both. So that's what's great about Spoonflower, is you can print samples and swatches. They're a great company. I am not sponsored by them, but they just are so much fun to work with and explore as a small designer, maker. It's just wonderful to have access to something like that, a tool like that. When I started making years ago, I so very much wanted to make my own fabric. It was a dream of mine, and they've made that dream come true for so many, and they've made it accessible financially. Because then I can have other fabrics to put on the inside as a lining. And that's my thought. How pretty would this be as a journal cover, as I said before? And I can just put I could put a plain fabric inside, which would be quite lovely. But also I could do the printed fabric of this if I chose. So we'll see. I'm just going to have fun and play and keep it going. So, but wow, like a journal cover. That's another rabbit hole. I'd love to know what you guys think. There's some wonderful journal channels out there I'm finding and just obsessing over, learning how to make signatures possibly just to add in. So I think I'm going to stay with the swatch size that I have here, which was again 10 by 15. I think that'll suit me for a little while until something else pops in my head. Love the purple thread on this. Please let me know if you have other ideas of what to make with the swatches. I have people asking me. I could make some coasters again. I could make some little pieces of jewelry, some brooches. I think I'll do that. Definitely going to make some bags. What an adorable clutch this would be. So many ideas. And I do like the larger size because I was thinking about a quilt a little bit at the beginning, but I don't know. I like the idea. They're their own pieces of art. They're so lovely. Can make little buttons. I'm awfully excited, as you can tell. I hope you guys are creating out there and having lots of fun doing so. Until next time, have fun out there. Bye.